actually want to ask Mahesh this one question.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Rajiv, for this to say that there's a whole school of thinking, right? That branding is no longer about promise; it's about delivery, and the entire communication superstructure works to amplify the delivery. I would love to hear from you on, on the HDFC journey in particular, how that transition has happened or not happened these days.
No, as I think Ravi just mentioned, you can't just live on the past glories. Every experience adds or eats into the brand. We were fortunate that we were the first mover, and we behaved as if we were not a monopoly, though we were a monopoly. And that helped us to build a brand which basically was solid, trustworthy, and people still vouch for it. The only thing is these days, the noise level is so much that you need to be also part of it to an extent, but you can't move away from the basic belief that you need to deliver the trust or you need to meet up with that trust which people, think about you the way people think about you. Because if you take, we basically provide housing finance. That is possibly the single largest investment and in any individual at any level makes in his lifetime. And for that, the fear of going wrong and in the environment which we are in, where we deal with developers on one side, you know how things can go wrong and they can lose the lifetime savings. That's why HDFC has survived and thrived is only because what we have done in the last 30 years. So if you say that, in fact, what is driving us is the brand. Even today, what is driving us is the brand. It is not the pricing. Financial products, you can easily get market share by pricing it the way you want. And because most of the products are like a commodity. What differentiates is the service. What differentiates is how you treat the customer, whether you're available. If I can give you about just a small example about the current pandemic, when people want to convert their loans to a lower rate and all, they need to physically come to the office, sign some promissory notes and all those things. And the way the IT and the legal department came into and provided that online, it may not have provided additional or new business to us, but it has definitely enhanced the brand for HDFC. So yes, the experience counts, but it's also being based on the past that what we have done so far in the last 3-4 decades.
No, absolutely. So trust and credibility is pretty much often the foundation for experiences, right? And that's something that I'd love to hear from Gunjan first and then Ravinder on this matter. So Gunjan, especially because, you are in the experience, incubation business at large, I think. So.
Thanks, Shivaji. So at least as far as our live events division goes, and we're doing a lot of those events now online, experience is honestly all encompassing. A brand is nothing but what other people think you are, and brands have multiple opportunities to fix that notion of what that brand stands for. And that is literally every time a brand comes across a customer and a customer is able to form that opinion. So for us, of course, with live events, you have that sensorial experience. You're in a visceral environment, you're experiencing that. But now with everything moving online, we have as many more opportunities, but they're just more distributed, which is why it becomes more important to make sure that every time there is a touch point, we dial up that brand. Given the fragmented media landscape, it becomes even more important for brands to make sure that they're staying true to that one promise that they started out with.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely. I think that's so true because, you have to be consistent and inspirational at the same time. And that's really a creative challenge, which I think Ravinder faces also on a daily basis. Ravinder?
Yeah, so we have a study which sort of suggests that if 76% of the world's brands disappeared, people will not even notice. So, and 24% in that sense are really the brands, where it comes the question of brand loyalty. If you're replaceable for whatever reason or lack of one, then you're not a brand. I mean, in that sense, you have to be consistent starting from when I walk into Apple store, what I feel is what I feel when I touch my phone, when I see their ads, or when I hear a logo that Rajiv would probably create. So that consistency speaks one language. A brand is like a person. So I am the same person across. Otherwise, I feel cheated that you showed me this, And then this is what you turned out to be. I mean, the famous example is surprisingly SBI. While the TV commercial was surprisingly SBI saying that you'll be delighted to, see so many, I mean, we are so much, we have so many branches, blah, blah, blah. When you went to the bank, you were surprised in the wrong way. And that's where, like we say, good advertising kills a bad product very fast. So that's what happened. Okay. As for the experience in this entire thing, I mean, we are today living, a brand is living in so many spaces that for a marketer to keep it consistent, probably that's what Mahesh was saying, is what, really, really important. And that's why you have to drive that consistency across whatever you say. And I mean, I see this every day, and I think Pooja also will sort of agree with me, is that in the morning, one hashtag is born and everybody jumps on it. Whether you belong there or not, it's not your conversation, but you just jump on it. I mean, that's counterproductive to a brand. It's not your conversation, stay out of it. But people just want likes and hashtags. So those are the mistakes that brands and marketers are making. You need to be yourself. I mean, there are two things. First is that whatever medium you are on, you have to be true to the medium. But secondly, and more importantly, you have to be yourself still. You can't just go and dance in somebody else's wedding. I mean, it's not yours. So that's when you'll be called out and people will say, what are you doing here? And I didn't expect this from you. Pretty much like a person, So that's my point.
Just to add to that, Ravinder, there's this famous saying in our office, and we tell this to a lot of our clients: every moment is not a moment to market, especially for you. And you cannot cosmetize everything. Some of the bigger, the ads that the marketing community has patted their backs on, saying that, oh my God, this is so beautifully executed on this particular moment. If you go down and talk to consumers, and like we said, we have this study where we speak with Gen Z consumers, every 3 months. The biggest ads that we've been excited about, they look at it and say, that's so unauthentic. That was absolutely misrepresented. That's not at all how my life is. And being able to understand that is so important today, because that's the only way, you'd be able to get some sort of, be truthful.